Okay. Uh, Thank you, Deputy City Manager Desiree Matthews, for being here. We're so excited for the work we're doing with the city of Kissimmee. Uh, a lot of residents are surprised that over the last 10 to 15 years, Kissimmee's become a really popular place to live, and that's been great for current homeowners as we've seen home values rise, but for young couples trying to get by, for families that are struggling, it's been a challenge. What have you seen as far as the need for affordable housing around here?
Well, it continues to grow. The reality is that the cost of housing is outpacing wages. And so, as families are identifying ways to create a sustainable living situation and create a family supportive system, we know that housing is instrumental to that. And so there's been a lot of discussion around creating diversity in housing. So now you're not only just focusing on the affordable housing point, but you're also looking at where the moderate income families need to be and where those with a lot of discretionary income have opportunities for housing, because what we found in our communities, there's a lot of compression. And so until you create the opportunity for some of those luxury apartments for families who are in the affordable range but can afford more if they had the right amenities, now that there's a real focus on creating that diversity, we have a price point and an opportunity for housing in all the different areas within our community.
Well, we're really grateful for your leadership and the leadership of the commission. So you all saw the opportunity for a hotel motel conversion in the city to help with some transitional housing. How did that come to be?
Wow. So about 3 years ago, the City Commission was on a mission to identify ways to house unsheltered individuals through shelter. We had a very difficult time finding partners, and as well as the ability to find a location where a shelter could be developed. But then we also realized that shelter alone is not the solution, that there has to be housing at the end of that service. So the commission then had the opportunity through the American Rescue Act to identify funding, and an opportunity, which was an amazing opportunity, was presented to us to purchase a super rate hotel that had 123 units that could be converted into affordable housing.
Well, that makes me so thrilled. We saw during the pandemic that directly related to increases in property values as people chose Central Florida more and more. And so I applaud a wise use of American Rescue Plan dollars, because that directly affected our housing stock. And then we came together with a nearly $2 million community budget project. And so we're thrilled for this partnership. I hear that some of it has opened already and you're working on others. What did it feel like when we saw the first families get to start utilize Thrive?
Oh, my goodness. So the first families that were able to move into the Haven on Vine were those that were referred from a lot of our service providers. So we really made sure that we were accessing the families that were in the greatest need. They were already having case management. They were already receiving services. Their need was already documented. They were just waiting for housing. And so we worked with them to create a really low barrier approach to allow families to get into affordable units. We knew that the development was going to require a lot of renovations, because parts of it were constructed in the 70s. And so bringing it up to code, so fire sprinklers and fire alarms and all those different things that are part of life safety have to be done. But we also needed to make major renovations to the units, because many of them were from the 70s. And so our first phase of the project was to renovate the 40 of the 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments. And as those units became available, we moved families in. We didn't want to wait till the ribbon cutting or to have the entire project be completed. We know that housing is definitely paramount. And so we were able to start the first phase of the renovations. And so we are at 95% completion of the first phase. And we have more than 36 households that have been housed in the apartments. And so when we're talking about families, we're talking about children, we're talking about individuals that were currently living in the woods or in their cars, or in a number of different unsuitable environments for children. And just to see them enjoying the pool and to see them enjoying services makes it all worth it for all of the work that we've had to put into the initiative. The second phase of that is where we are now, where we're finalizing design, is to convert the 43 studio apartments that were hotel rooms and allow them to have kitchenettes, suitable bathroom space, upgrade electrical and plumbing, so that our smaller households will be able to have an affordable space to live in as well. And then the last phase that we anticipate will begin at the end of this year is our emergency housing bridge housing program. And that again is for families that are just waiting for a permanent unit. And right now, the way our system is designed is you may have a family that's in homelessness. They go through the process, they're on the waiting list, they get a unit. However, that unit may not be available for 60 days or 30 days. Well, there's nowhere to place them until that point. So our program would allow for those who are either unsheltered or in need of emergency housing to have a place to be while they're receiving services. They're receiving wraparound services, case management, other types of needs being met. They're becoming stabilized. And then once units become available, whether they're at the Haven or at another housing development, they would then have an opportunity to move into sustainable housing.
So exciting. I'm so grateful for the city's work. We know these are a lot of working poor, folks who are clocking in at the theme parks, working at local hotels or in other services around here. Many of them have children. They're just trying to carve a way in life. And so I couldn't be prouder, Ms. Matthews, of the work you're doing and of the city. And we're going to keep working together to address affordable housing here in Kissimmee. And I appreciate all that you do.
Well, I have to say, without your help, we wouldn't be where we are now. Knowing that we have the $1.8 million, almost $2 million to complete these renovations has relieved a tremendous burden and allowed us to make sure that this is an initiative that everyone can be proud of in our community. So thank you for your efforts and your work in making a difference in our community.
Thank you, and we'll keep it coming.
Thank you.